Are you attracting your clients to you? Or are you scurrying around to get new clients? Here you see a DJ who has produced a lot of music through different venues and now attracts the clients to him. They'll go out of their way. Another way as a key speaker and keynote is to become a thought leader in your area of expertise. It brings you credibility, influence, and increases your income. I will show you how, by producing content that you're probably already doing, how you can increase your income and be much more strategic. I will give you a publishing pyramid and how you can build up to from less complicated work to maximizing it and making it little by little more involved. Writing a book is a big endeavor. Posting one quote that could be somebody else's or yours takes little energy. So how do we start with something that has little energy and build up to a book, for example? So this publishing pyramid will show you how to be more strategic. Today, I'm going to help you repurpose your content to be known and generate income on the way. By why? How? Transforming quotes into ebooks, creating tips into mini books that you can sell in bulk. Podcasts, maybe do just 12 and create an event where there's a panel. And finally, blog posts that are building into a book. There's a precursor to do. For one, you need to have your niche market. If you're a keynote speaker, you surely already know your expertise. So you distinguish yourself from others. The questions you need to ask is, what do you want to be known for? Is there a need for your services, which is very important? And what competencies do you have that could help your clients? Is there a problem you solve for your clients? The first question. Even if you do a keynote, what problem are you solving for your clients? Unless you're doing pure entertainment. There's also a transformation from a beginning to an end. What are your audience at the beginning and how are you going to transform to think differently or have insight at the end? So to give an example, I transform brilliant jerks into inspiring collaborative people. So that's the transformation from one to the other. And just let me say that Mike Rayburn, he gives his keynote on what if and many other things, but on the what if, it's really expanding your horizon. Marilyn Sherman is sitting at the front. It's also putting yourself in a situation where you can excel. So now let's look at the publishing pyramid. We see here that on your website, if you put quotes, which are easy, could be yours or others, on your website, Google will search your website and see that it's an active website. You can do maybe 2 a week. It doesn't take that much. So once you get a certain amount of quotes, like happiness is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to deal with them. That's a beautiful quote. So you get a certain amount of those and you create an ebook with beautiful pictures. And then you can put it on your website and have it downloaded for a price or further emails. Remember, you only own the email list. So the bigger and the faster you can get people from different platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and get their emails, you can have a conversation with these people through the email. I've had friends that had a huge following on YouTube. YouTube didn't like it or wasn't making enough money with it, and from one day to the other took it off, and she lost everything, all those years of building a following. So catch their emails. Now let's look at tips. Tips is a little more complicated, but not much. Turn your tips into sellable books or into mini books. So this is how we do it overall to make a tip. You start by an action item. Go get your suits, go in the water, attach your surfboard to yourself, because otherwise, why? Because if you don't attach your surfboard to you, you're going to lose it if you fall. And then what does the tip explain to improve your performance? I'll give you an example. Here, reducing toxicity in the workplace. So what is the what? You need to develop a code of conduct. What's the why? You need to develop the right behavior for the right culture. Here I said, a code of conduct with a brilliant jerk, it's easier for the boss to say to the brilliant jerk, look, our code of conduct is this, we require these behaviors, and your behavior is not aligned. So it facilitates conversation. That's an example of why, like building a culture where people collaborate is another why. Then it's the how. How? Write up the behaviors the company expects from its employees. Expectations. What is an inappropriate or unethical behavior? Clearly explicate it. Then describe conflict of interest, which is already in the gray zone. So this would be a tip. And what's the advantage of the tip is that you can put it in a mini book and sell it in bulk. But before we go to there, remember to have a key word that is part of your social media so that you can track where you are, and you can also be known for other people that will follow you for that typical subject. So here is an example of a proven e-learn design development of tips. So that is just before we go on to blogs. I just want to say companies will buy mini books in bulk of 500. So you can sell them before a keynote for 500s. They don't cost much, but they're something that is very often purchased, even more so than a book that costs a lot more. So now let's transition to blogs. What can we say about blogs? You probably write a blog. So if we're strategic in the way we write blogs, we make an outline of related topics. Let's take an out-of-the-box subject, cars. If you write about cars, you write about how to paint a car. What's the best motor for a car? How do you boost up your car? What are the different options for tires for your car? That's what I mean by related topics. So at the end, you can say, what are the best things for your car, for example? And then blog each week, which you probably already do. But remember, 50 blogs, and then you have a book. And was it as difficult as starting from a white page to write a book? No, it's a lot easier. It does a lot for your branding, for your credibility, and it shows off your expertise. Let's go next to podcast. I'm a podcaster and have been done regularly. But even though I have been doing it for years and have a lot of downloads, you don't have to do that many podcasts to create an event. You can choose 12 people, that's 3 months, of people you want to interview on a certain subject, and then invite them for an event and invite your clients or your potential clients. Remember that when you are in a podcast, you're talking to many people all over the world, and you don't quite realize the impact. Not only is someone whispering in your ear, but just imagine, I have podcasts that are downloaded 3,000 times. Imagine yourself in front of 3,000 people at an audience. That's the power you have with podcasts. So now, how do we leverage it? So we'll take the last example. Here we have a podcast and a host. Then you can put and take out from your podcast quotes of people you interviewed or of what you said. And that you can put on your website, or you can distribute it through the different channels of distribution. You can do a newsletter promoting your podcast with events that your company is doing, or the next keynotes that you did, or snippets of your keynote in your newsletter. Then you can distribute it to LinkedIn profile, to LinkedIn page, and then boost it with LinkedIn ads. You can also place it on Facebook profile, Facebook page, and boost it by Facebook ads. These are some examples. Now, let's say you take the podcast and you transcribe it and you have it into a blog and create that information. You can repost it again to LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and always boost it with ads. Huge opportunities to leverage your content and maximize it. This is just one example for a podcast. I'll just say one caveat, that Facebook will no longer accept a podcast directly on Facebook. What they want is reels and videos. The other point is that if you can summarize your podcast slightly, it will also be better perceived by Google, because Google will look for it by the keywords. So as I said, reels, anything you do, podcasts, blogs, reels, shorts, you can cut them up and distribute them. So now let's look at booklets and ebooks. Here, again, is a tips that I have on my website, just to give you an example. And this is an example of a book from Dr. Tyrone Holmes, who has done a lot of tips about diversity and competitive advantage. Tyrone has sold this multiple times in bulks to different companies. And it's a small book about this size. That has a tremendous amount of power, and people want to improve. And you can also put it on your website and give her freebies every time you do a presentation. You can have your call of action to your website to download a freebie, something complimentary, to say it in a better way. And then, so I want to summarize. Turning quotes into a quote ebook, putting beautiful pictures with it. I've done that. It's easy to do. You can go in Asia and for $25 have it done. Turning tips into sellable books is definitely an income generating system. And then turning podcasts into events or an edited book, turning blogs into a book. So let's look at this in more detail. Focus on the desired topic and create a timeline to become a thought leader on that topic. Okay, so let's look at this. For one, we start 2 tips a week. So you have 100 tips a year. You have an ebook in 12 months. Okay, not too difficult. Let's look at another process. You do 12 podcasts and you create an event, and also you can create a book or a manual from the interviews of other people. It doesn't have to be, of course, only you, but you want to curate it as a keynote, as the expert, and then you have an edited book in 3 months. Here in 6 months, you can have 25 quotes, 50 tips, and then you have a manual, because remember that the tips is how to improve your performance. Manuals are more practical. And in 6 months to a year, you can have a manual. And then if you have 50 blogs in a year, a book with 10 chapters, so let's say 5 blogs for 1 chapter, and then you have a book. So remember to have a strategy in your content creation so that you'll be known in that. You all have intellectual capital because you're keynotes or speakers. Use it and maximize your content with minimum effort. So use every publication you create as a foundation for additional publications to promote your brand and your expertise. Which of these strategies are you going to work on? Thanks for listening.